The mystery of Tupac's murder has been mystifying people longer than I have been alive. He was the biggest rapper in the world one day and then gone the next. The will to find the killer was strong, and through the years many avenues were checked. Try after try, they all ended cold with hope dwindling. This was the case until the man who planned the murder confessed to police exactly how Tupac was killed, and he was recently arrested. 13 years after the murder in 2009, Keefe Davis was in hot water with the police, but it was for a different reason. He was a kingpin of the Southside Compton Crips, and with that came the operation of trafficking lots of drugs. After so long, he was caught and facing a litany of charges. To avoid 25 to life, he agreed to speak. For the next 3 hours, Keefe explained exactly how it all happened. Before Tupac was even involved, Keefe had natural problems with Suge Knight. Suge was a former NFL player, and a scab by the way. He was more known for creating death row records and hiring lots of his friends. Oh, and did I mention that his friends were gang members? Did I also mention that Suge was a high-ranking member of the Mob Peru Bloods? Well, now that we're up to speed, you can probably see where this is going. Keefe's gang was one of Knight's gang's biggest adversaries. Throughout the years, of course, there would be a bunch of standard gang shenanigans, from area disputes to gang shootings. After a few years, Suge gained notoriety in these circles due to the success of his label and his aggressive behaviors. This type of reputation never goes unrewarded. On the other side, Puff Daddy, or as most know him now as Diddy, was in a pretty similar boat to Knight. He was an up-and-comer with his own record label and a part of a notorious gang. Just this time, it was Keefe's gang. Diddy feared Mob Peru, and without anywhere to turn, he joined the Southside Crips for protection. Even with their protection, the fear lingered in Diddy, which eventually culminated in a bounty of one of Mob Peru's heads. He told Keefe and some other SSC members he wanted Suge Knight gone. By the end of that night, Suge had a 500,000 berry bounty on his head. Around this time, Knight was popping off. He recently signed Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, both of which went multi-platinum on their first album with this new record label. Even with this major success, Knight's ambitions pushed him for more, as his eyes set on one of the biggest artists in the world, Tupac. After Tupac was found guilty of raping a girl of his friends, he laid in a cell for 8 months. Suge came knocking and offered to pay his bail to get him out, while Pac's lawyers appealed the decision. As Knight was a businessman, there was one big stipulation. Pac had joined his record label as soon as he got bailed out. $1.4 million later, Death Row Records and Mob Peru gained a very powerful ally. Soon after Pac was freed, he dropped All Eyes on Me, which reached #1 on the Billboard and sold over 5 million copies. This led to Pac pushing Mob Peru to a bigger spotlight and him becoming a much more notable member of the gang. It sent ripples down the other gang's spines, especially SSC, and of course Diddy. He doubled down on his previous proposition, this time adding a bounty to Pac as well, $500,000, or $1 million for both him and Suge. This is the type of money Keefe was looking for to really take it seriously. And if that was the case, it was not going to be easy to go after these extremely well-protected men. A few months later, Keefe and some of his mates went to see a Mike Tyson fight. The fight ended in less than 3 minutes and ended up almost being a forgotten note in this story. After the fight, Keefe's nephew Orlando Anderson went walking alone. Here it appeared that Knight and Tupac's group were also there, as they spotted Orlando near an elevator, and it was claimed that Orlando had stolen a chain from someone in the Mob Peru gang, and he was wearing them right there and then. An eye for two eyes in this gang world, so they jumped Orlando and took back the chain. This all caught on the tape that's been playing in the background. After the beatdown, Orlando found his uncle and told him everything. As a kingpin of his gang and a $1 million bounty on their heads, Keefe smelled his opportunity. He devised a plan to get payback for his nephew, quickly wrangled up the Crip Avengers and got them a single gun and car. Besides him and his nephew, there were 2 others, so 4 in total. They each took a seat and went searching for Suge and Pac. Originally they camped outside a popular nightclub that they figured Pac would show up to, but half an hour passed and there was no sign of either of them. Keefe's group pulled out and started driving through the Vegas Strip. Aimlessly driving, the group was growing hopeless and on the edge of going home. This is all until they heard some yelling. A bunch of women were yelling Pac's name in the middle of the road. Pac was leaning out the car and trying to get them to come out with him that night. The commotion led Keefe and Orlando's group right to Pac. Keefe pulled up to the right of their car, made eye contact with Suge, who was in the driver's seat. A split second later, Sarge started popping off in the back seat. Pac tried to hide in his back seat, but he could not escape the barrage of bullets. Miraculously, Suge missed any vital shots and was only grazed by him. Keefe's group quickly drove away as the windows went back up. Orlando's hands shaking as he hands the gun back to Keefe, a night never to be mentioned again. On the other side, Pac had medical attention right away and was treated as quickly as possible. He stayed in the hospital bed for 6 days, where he would end up succumbing to his wounds. Orlando and Keefe had carried out their revenge and were going to be rewarded a great bounty. It was a win-win. But after the death was confirmed, neither of them ever saw a penny of the said bounty, and who killed Tupac remained unknown for the years to come. We now have a pretty good understanding of what happened that night, as Keefe had devised a plan influenced by revenge and monetary gains, while Orlando was given the gun to commit the fateful action. Keefe has admitted to everything mentioned above on many occasions. He has even been a lot more straightforward about it ever since he was diagnosed with cancer in 2018. This led to a new interest in the case and a reinvigorated look into all the details. By Keefe's own confession, they locked him up a week ago in September 2023, 27 years after the murder of Tupac Shakur. The mystery had officially been closed. Also, if you're curious about the rest of the people in that car that day, well, they all died. The last two living witnesses are Keefe himself and Suge Knight, who has denied Keefe's recalling of that night. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more, check out my last video here, or what YouTube recommends there. Peace out.